Good morning, everyone. Eric here from Nomadic Fanatic, coming to you from the never-ending sunshine of the Arizona desert out here in Quartzsite, Arizona. So much different than what's going on up at my property at 7,000 feet in Arizona. It is cold and snowy up there. It's shorts and t-shirt every day. Beautiful sunshine, blue skies. Could not pick a better place or time of year to work on this bus right now. And today we are moving on to a very exciting project, part of this build, framing the inside. Today I will be framing the inside of my bus. Thanks for joining me, guys. I will be uploading this video with some connected internet. Check out the video description below for unlimited high-speed internet. Got one thing to show you before we start framing though. So yeah, we brought in some things just to kind of work and see what things are gonna start looking like. And actually, before we even start, I'm gonna have to pull all this stuff out in order to frame the walls, up to the windows today at least, because it's in my way. But I've made a couple changes once again with the floor plan, nothing major, but let's go see this walkway right here. It was bothering me that the couch recliners were gonna come to this corner and then this wall, and then there would be a tiny little area here. So I'm doing a custom wall here where the toilet's gonna be at. It's gonna be at an angle here, come back here, and then these dotted lines. This is gonna be an accordion door that's near the shower wall right there, so that if we ever need to separate the RV in two for the cats, or here's the thing, let's say Diana's sitting on the couch watching TV right here, and I want to go use the toilet area. Well, we need a door. So you got a little accordion temporary door right here, and then the bathroom toilet area, this part right here will actually be open. So the wall will stop right there at the corner. This will be solid. The wall will stop. This will be open to walk inside. And then maybe we'll have a curtain right here. I'm not sure. Maybe the curtain will match the curtain near the shower, but that opened up the hallway here. And then over here, I've added behind the toilet wall will be a giant hamper, as I've written, a giant hamper that comes up to here where you can just throw our clothes in here and pull it out later. Because I called it extra space before, but we're starting to fill all these empty spaces. Oh, and then up in the kitchen, one more thing. So I had said we were gonna block off all of these windows. Not quite. We're gonna leave this one right here open, and the refrigerator that is right there that was going to open out into the kitchen is now gonna be tipped this way, so that the floor, you can walk right in here like this, and then open the refrigerator right here instead, having this window kind of, actually that's not true. We're gonna probably block it up to here. So the bottom part will be blocked off with wood, and then this can open and close so that we can get some cross breeze going. It'll be nice with all these open windows here. Got to pull out all these cabinets, the sink, the shower, tub, the water tank, the toilet. I'm gonna put all this stuff securely back in the trailer and clear this out so we have room to frame behind all this stuff. So I'll get back to you in a bit. Before we get started here, just as a friendly reminder, we're building a school bus, so we're not building a home. There are no codes involved. You just kind of figure it out. There's also nothing square in the bus, and there's no real rules on the right or wrong way to do things. So with that said, and I'm not a professional by any means, I'm just kind of winging it as I go, but after careful consideration, we have decided how we're gonna frame my bus. If you've been following the series, I took off one of these panels right here to see this 1.5 to almost 2-inch wool insulation behind this panel. And to put that into perspective, when the sun's hitting it and you put your hand on the window, it's warm. When you put your hand in here behind this, it's warm. But right here, cold to the touch. This little piece of insulation, this double barrier right here, really does some pretty decent insulation. However, we're gonna add to it. So that's what today's project is, but also we need something to be able to connect cabinets to and build walls from. We need wood to be able to run 1/2-inch PEX water lines and Romex and DC lines and stuff like that. So that's also why we're building the wall out. And to do that, this is what I came up with. We're not using dimensional 2x4s because we don't need to, but I got these 2x3s at Home Depot. So we're gonna run these along the seat rail down here. We're gonna screw them in with these Tex self-drilling wood to metal 2 3/4 inch screws. So they're gonna go through like this, and then this drill bit is gonna go into the metal, and then it's gonna sink the threads into the metal as well, about 1 inch into this right here. Well, this right here. This is gonna be the harder one to go into, so we might actually go into the side, but that will give us our downward weight anchor right there. And then on all these places where I took the screws out, right here, we're gonna be using 2x2's right on top of the 2x3 that go all the way up to here. We have to stop here because the bus actually angles in on the top of the windows. So for today, I'm gonna be cutting these strips for the bottom, and then I'm gonna rip a bunch of these that fit on top of here and go to the top of the window. What, 18 or 19 of them? No, more than that, like 24 of these, okay? And then we'll be able to run Romex through here, pack more insulation here, and then put our plywood walls together behind all that. That's our plan. That means I finally get to use my new toy, my compound miter saw here. It's got a bag on the back to collect all the sawdust, keep things clean. So this will be a toy that we continue to use throughout the build process, and I think it was a good investment. So to get started, what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna cut 2 feet off the first 8-foot section here because we're building a wall past the emergency door, and there's no seat rail right there, and I don't want that to be where the end is. So this one will stop about here, and then a full 8-foot sheet will go across here to cover this gap right here to go straight across. Oh, I love it. Also, before we begin, this box did not come with a dedicated bit for these particular screws. I know they probably look like just standard Phillips, right? But I cannot stress enough the importance of having the right bit, because a normal Phillips, see how it just moves around in there? So it's weird that it didn't come with the bit I need, but I did find the right one. It's almost like a square style in the middle. So this one, once it goes in, it clicks. There's no flex. So I did have a kit of a bunch of Ryobi bits. So, and it's weird that this pack didn't actually come with the bit. But okay. And then once it grabs that steel rib right there, it just sinks that screw into it. Heck yeah. Oh, yeah, one down. All right, finished it along one whole side of the bus here. This will be great because when we put the cabinets in over here, we'll have the nice 2x3 down there. We'll have 2x2's there. We'll have 2x2's up here, plywood to attach everything. And I cut a couple of the pieces just to make sure that my offset part right here was not right near one of the ribs where I was gonna secure it. The cool thing about the bus is you know where all your anchor points are because you can just look at the windows right here. Or you can look at the ceiling and you know that's where that really big stud is. Here, I'll show you over here where it's more open. See, between each window, here's that steel rib stud that goes all the way down. So that's what you want to hit. That's what you want to hit. So I'll finish this side here. I did come up with a easier way to do it, and I'll show you that right now. The trick is drill pilot holes with a titanium bit first that's a little thinner than the actual screws. Even though it's a self-drilling screw, drilling pilot holes with one drill and not having to switch batteries, and then grab my other drill with its own battery that has the right bit, it just makes me be able to whip right through it. Let me show you here. And look up at the window, make sure, yep, looks good. Awesome. Then it'll help this sink in. See what I'm talking about? Yeah. So this is exactly what I'm trying to avoid. This next piece of wood would start right there and would end in the middle of this emergency door that we're bypassing, and you don't want that loose there. I want a solid piece there. So I'm going to cut this piece right there so the next 2x4 can sit on part of that rib and go across this space. The full length piece goes all the way across. Yeah, that's how we like it. All right, that actually turned out really well. Diana's bringing over the next step, the 2x2's, for the next part of it. I was also able to find where the ribs are across the emergency doors. So I was able to get screws into each side just for extra support. But man, that is a good look. Next step I'm gonna do is measure and cut all of my 2x2's for underneath this going to the floor for these supports, because this is gonna have insulation and plywood down here as well as this. So I kind of lucked out because we want all these bottom pieces 8 1/4 inches long. Well, there's a little guide right here that literally only goes to, ironically, exactly 8 1/4. So all I gotta do is get my 2x2, bring it up to right there, slap it down, move it, slap it down, and I can get 28 of these made. Actually, Diana, will you come out and hold the other end of the wood? Sure. Thank you. All right, so keeping in mind all of these are going to be covered with plywood anyway, and we don't have building codes. It does not have to be a certain distance away. I'm just trying to split the difference and make sure that I get one of these in between every seam of the plywood underneath. However, the second layer that we do, we are going to match up the 2x4s with the window sills here to hit a good piece of steel there, because we're going to have heavy cabinets and cupboards and walls and stuff like that. So I'll get all these bottom pieces screwed in on both sides, and then we'll move on. All right, Diana and I finished the floor part. That was probably the hardest part, is being down there that low, drilling into it, but we kept getting better and better at it. So next part, we're gonna work on the sides. So I measured and I like 18 inches all around. So now we're gonna focus on these window frame lines where the actual studs are. 18-inch boards on there, up to there. There's a chance that we might actually run out of screws. So I'm not gonna overdo it. I'm gonna put 2 screws, but they're gonna be heavily into the steel metal ribs behind this. So I think 2 are okay. Once we get all these put on, let me see if I can show you the angle here. So the bus doesn't really show, does it? So this is kind of flat. And then when it gets to right here, this starts going back this way with the windows. The windows are not perpendicular to the bus. It starts to come up that way. So that's why we'll be doing 18 here, and then we'll have another board that starts there for this curve, and we'll have to router out these window locks on the wood. Which reminds me, we need to find and borrow a router. We might not get to that today, but we're gonna finish framing in this video one way or another. One way or another. Okay, let's cut some pieces. practice one here and see how well this goes. Diana's gonna help me. So I'm gonna line it up here, get a screw in while she holds it, maybe like put pressure right in the middle. And we'll just kind of try to work together, see how this goes. And then once that's in, then I can look at this. I'm looking right down the rib to get it centered for my next drill. It's a lot easier with 2 people, that's for sure. One down, 27 to go. Let's put some tunes on.
Let's do it.
All right, well, the great Wayne has joined us here because I had a question. You want to show me what you came up with? Because this emergency door needs one of these right there, but the window, where the window stops, there's nothing really solid. This is where right where these screws are. And I told Wayne, I said, I'm gonna have to take those out. But Wayne came up with a different idea.
I said leave them in because that's going to keep the strength right in there and keep all that in. So all I did was took a piece of wood, marked it where we wanted it, smacked it with a hammer. We notched for the screws.
And then we can just pick a spot between those screws.
Yep. Bam, sits flush. That gets screwed in, that gets screwed in. This still got the integrity, so it's
awesome.
Got the strength. And Bob's your uncle.
All right, appreciate it, bud.
Yep.
Okie dokie, we finished one whole side of the bus. It looks awesome, but believe it or not, it is very time consuming and it takes 2 people because I can't put enough force with my right arm with just one hand. So Diana's been helping me hold it steady so I can use 2 hands and do the self drillers. But that whole side's done. Next step is to start on this side. And if we can get that done today before it gets dark, I'm gonna call the bus framed. Okay, well, we got Wayne's working on getting the heater up front working on the bus like I told you guys about. In the meantime, I was gonna work on the top rail on this side before I tackle the other side. So I measured my first piece and I'm running into a brain fart problem here because I actually already unscrewed it, but I cut this piece to fit here and then I screwed it in from the side right there. And as you can see, I've already taken the screw out because then I realized, well, how are you gonna get the next one in, Eric? So actually, I think it's time to use my Craig kit for the first time instead. I'm gonna do a practice one first, but here's what it looks like. It's blue, and so it's meant to get the angles in. We'll be using this a lot, like for finish work on cabinets and other areas, so I might as well get used to it now. The idea is to drill a nice hole that goes down at an angle and then looks really clean. I'm gonna use a scrap piece of wood and figure this out. I put the stopper there, just thinking that's how deep I want it to go, but you can bring it back and adjust it so that it doesn't hit the wood as much, but I like right there. So get to test out some of the toys that we got at Home Depot last week. Some of my clamps here. This guy in the drill bit. Then we just kind of go in like this, right? Something like that, like that. Oh, and it moved. So we're gonna need more than one clamp. Okay, okay, ready? There it goes. Let's see what that looks like. Ooh, look at that. That's a sexy little pocket hole right there. Okay. See, there. And then on the other side, since this one's up here, the other one's gonna be on this side down here so that I can just stagger them as I go. All right, I'm ready for a real piece. All right, closer to me on the left, farther away on the right. Let's see. Let's get my screws. I'm gonna start using these wood screws that I got. They got the good star bit, number 10, 2.5. See how this goes. And it cracked. It cracked, dang it. We can go back to the middle on the next one and go in from the top. And then we can go into the side here. And then the next one into the top, into the side, into the top, into the side, and keep it in the center so we don't crack any more pieces. I'll have to pull this out and redo that. All right, that did solve my problem. So I measure each piece because they're all different between each window, of course. And then the left side goes in with a pocket hole on the side. The right side goes in with a pocket hole on the top. And as long as I stagger it exactly like that, it is working. So I'll keep working on these. Sun just set. It is 5:30 p.m. here in Quartzsite, Arizona. The sun just set, which means I've got about 4.5 hours left of work time available till quiet time. And framing. Used a 2x3 up here, suspended a little different. Instead of going in the side, it's supported on this because that's going to be I'm going to call it a weight bearing piece for the big screen TV that's going to go right there. So that part's a little different on purpose. Yeah, but finished the rest of it, framing all the way up to the windows at least. Now I got to start doing what I've been putting off, and that's the other side with the up there. But like I said, a lot can get done here in 4.5 hours. This camera's about to die, so I'm gonna go grab my GoPro, turn these lights on, and maybe crack open a beer. We're doing this once to steel so that everything else we build off of this is gonna be easier to put in with wood and on the plywood and stuff like that. But right now, this is, here's my new trick. Drill into the first layer of steel right there. So I have a mark. Then put my shoulder into it. Tell you what, next time I see anybody who's built a bus, I'm gonna look at you guys differently. Because I know what you've done, okay? I'm telling you. Tighten it, there you go. Make sure it's straight, and sink it. It's peaceful out here in the desert. It's cooling off. In the 40s at night out here. I got all the windows open still. I'm not sweating, but and in case you're wondering, Wayne's working on a couple other projects, kind of in between stuff. I've still got work for him, but we changed the priority of certain tasks to, well, I need to go pick up solar panels, actually. Solar panels and wire and solar brackets and more ceiling insulation so we can get the roof started, because we can't do interior walls until there is an actual finished ceiling up there to drill into, you know? Done. 9:57 p.m. Done, guys. Got all the framing completely done all the way around the bus. I struck out getting a router. I don't have any friends who have a router here, so in the future, when we do these other portions here, I think I may just have to do it the old school way and use my circular saw cut to a certain length to go around that and just kind of notch it out for those two, because I don't want to remove any of these window holders when we do that. But gosh, today was a lot. After taking a little break for Thanksgiving, now having a really full work day, I am tired again. Gonna have to see how I feel in the morning. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll get back to this build in a couple days. Give me some time to rest my arms.
Bye, guys.